when it still burns.
Welcome back. GSL Code S. Foreigner time.
Oh boy, that's right, Artosis. We are back, and it's time for Scarlett to take on KeeN.
Yeah, I would favor Scarlett a little bit here, but KeeN you can't underestimate, and everyone just consistently does.
Well, and I think we talked earlier about how important it is to really have a solid style, so that when you are tested, when you're poked and prodded by these little tiny plays by your opponent, can you hold up to the pressure, or do you start to fall apart a little bit? And I feel like for Scarlett, sometimes that has plagued her, and most recently in her previous GSL performance. Now she's going up against KeeN. I feel like this reminds me a lot of the games that she played against Alive in her previous series, where she still looked very good, but wound up still losing that series 2-1.
Yeah, hopefully that's not the case going in here, of course. Well, a little bit biased. Would love to see a foreigner make the round of 16. It's been about a million years.
Man, it's the hardest thing in the world to be impartial right now. Definitely cheering for Scarlett would be very impressive to see her make it to the next round. But here we go. We'll find out. It's Scarlett versus KeeN. One of these players will be eliminated from the GSL Code S. That's the number of matches we've had.
KeeN
is one of the players who have played in those matches.
Yeah,
so,
quite a few of them, in fact.
Yeah, he's been around for a while.
Some of the very early sub-1000 ones.
What was the first team KeeN was on? Was it like Zenex?
Maybe.
Way back in the day. Well, his opponent from Team Expert.
Team Expert, Scarlett.
I don't remember what team everyone was on way back then, but yeah, he was
on
around.
NS Hoso. Way back in the day. All right. Well, either way, here we go. Scarlett staying on screen there for a while.
Wait a minute, he's not a bad Protoss. There's no way he was on that team. Bad Protoss is Seal and Jockchi.
Ooh, Seal.
Yeah.
He had a really good one-hit wonder, but much like his player. Let's see. Scarlett, you will find a way. You always have. Lots of foreigner fans there in the background and in the audience. So thanks, guys, for coming out, cheering on one of the foreign hopes in this GSL Code S.
So exciting having two qualify. That's so crazy. Of course, guys,
last season it was 1. This season it's 2. They're multiplying, Artosis.
It could be 3 next season.
Or 4.
Neeb is coming.
Oh, that's right. The Korean killer back on, I guess, foreign soil. Really cool to watch. But right now, we've got to focus on Scarlett. And I really think, especially versus KeeN here, might not run into the same difficulties that she had versus Alive, who used a very abusive stim drop timing style that she just never seemed to be able to come out on top of. This time around, we saw KeeN try that bio-heavy approach versus Protoss, but it'll be interesting to see what style he wants to play here versus Scarlett.
Well, it won't be the double medevac stim timing. That is still pretty popular on this map overall. Instead, he is teching up a little bit, so it could be something like Reactor Hellions with some Raven harassment that's super popular right now and very safe. But you know, that's going to be something that Scarlett's used to playing against. She should be able to get into a solid macro game against that. And that's really, I think, where Scarlett shows her best games.
Well, here comes in this first Reaper. This is the first sort of mini micro test. It's like, can you save your drones?
Whoa! Did you see that? What was that drone doing? He did a wheelie all the way to the hatchery. Oh, my God. I want to do a wheelie. That was one sick drone, man. He rode the wave.
In another life, you're like a corporate drone, Artosis, and then one day while you're on your way to the desk, somebody put a mine in the middle of the floor, you do a wheelie right into your cubicle.
Oh my gosh. Well, it would all be worth that boring life, wouldn't it? Or maybe I'd enjoy that. I don't know. Never tried it.
I don't know. It didn't seem like that drone enjoyed it a whole lot.
Did you ever have a real job?
Yeah, I worked in SEO, search engine optimization, for a while. It was soulless and terrible. I hated my life.
Yeah, I bought a book on SEO like 8 years ago.
It's super. It's actually the black magic of the internet.
Yeah, it is. But when I started reading it, I realized that it was something I would never.
Oh, it is actually soul killing. Yeah,
it's for me, it was not cool.
All right, well, speaking of killing souls, here comes the first two Hellions lining them up there.
Uh-oh,
Whoa,
uh-oh.
lots of low drones.
Oh, no.
5 going down, and this might be a ton of damage. Well, a couple more shots there. 7 drones taken out.
7 for the first 2 Hellions is too much. That
yeah.
is too much damage right there. It's not that she has lost the game already because of this, but that is not a good sign. She was just unready for these first 2 Hellions, and
well, I mean, it's 2 the
Ouch.
first time. It's 4 the second time. You know, you're just going to keep facing off against it, and especially with Ravens coming forward. I know a lot of Zergs have very strong opinions about Ravens and dealing with that harass. Yeah, a little bit of a setback early on, and I know a lot of times, especially some foreign players, might not have the mindset to be able to deal with that early deficit.
well, you know, I think Scarlett does. She's definitely one of the most what do I call it? Storied veterans? Is that the right way to say this? Like, she's been around forever. She's had great tournament results. She's always been one of these players that can beat Koreans. In fact, like the first time that we even really knew about Scarlett, she was bashing top Koreans at IPL.
Yeah, way back in the day, and of course, a lot of the same people on Team Expert. It's like the Team Acer 2.0.
Yeah.
So bringing it back, and it's really just done a lot of great things for the StarCraft scene, getting a ton of impressive players. And I mean, you have Beyond and Scarlett, like one of the best Koreans and one of the best foreigners out there. So
Yeah.
solid team, solid performances. But I mean, it would certainly be very impressive to see Scarlett advance, and already a little bit of a deficit here versus KeeN.
Well, KeeN's taking that 3rd command center. They're both going for double upgrades at this point. Scarlett going to start that layer up and get the Baneling Nest. As long as she can continue to block this harassment, she definitely can recover. But what style will KeeN go for here? I'm wondering. Like, is he going to start pumping out siege tanks soon, or is he just going to stay really heavily on bio?
Couple more drone kills there for that Raven, and just continuing this harassment, just getting little tiny advantages, little by little. And you can see he's only he's almost tied in. Okay, I was looking at his army count. Yeah, almost even in army count. Worker's still climbing on up there, and Sasha has managed to get those 3 bases up, and you know, hasn't just totally folded over. But I think one of the first big tests will be this push that's being built up.
Yeah, well, this is kind of cool, because I was talking before about if I had to compare her to a Korean Zerg, it would be like a Byul or a Su, probably, leaning a little bit more towards Byul, and it looks like that's kind of the style that she's going for. Adding this macro hatch, great creep spread so far, Baneling speed. We should be seeing a Spire in a little bit, and she's very good at this type of play. It's super mechanical. And KeeN is going for the right style against this, right? Like, a lot of Zergs like to go Ravager, Roach, Ling Bane here into, like, some Infestors and into Ultras. And against that, you'll see a lot of Siege Tank play. But against this, just the non-stop Widow Mines, the good upgrades on the Marines, maybe a little bit of pressure, but eventually we should be seeing like a very strong parade push type style out of KeeN.
Yeah, and there's that Spire that you talked about, Artosis. It is up and on the way. Double expanding now here, or not double expanding, but 1 expansion and another hatchery coming up. So this is going to be very, a lot invested. Wow, triple turrets forcing the cancel there on that hatchery.
That's super handsome play right there.
Big win. Yeah, I don't often expect Ravens to come back with enough energy for 3 auto turrets.
Yeah. I don't often expect a spellcaster to force a cancel on a base. But
yeah.
Definitely the case here.
And that's going to slow down that hatchery timing. It's going to allow also the entire rest of KeeN's army to relocate. Okay, well, not relocating there. Have to find another place, another angle.
Yeah, he's still macroing up heavily. I love that he still has a Raven out as well, being able to clean some more creep. But it's a scary amount of units. But Baneling speed is done. They're both on 1-1 right now. So this is something that I think if KeeN commits, we'll probably have to just pick up and run.
More Raven harassment, man. Look at the value on those, and now coming in from a different angle, going to be dropping in the main while he pressures up through this right-hand passage.
Okay, so this drop in the main base, a lot of units have responded, but plenty left over, it looks like, to just rail right through the Hellbat Marine push over here.
Triple mines here, but gonna get blown up there. Decent connection, but no drones killed just yet.
Yeah, the mutas are starting to pop out as well, so it's going to be harder and harder for KeeN to actually continue medevac harassment. A little bit of sloppiness there from
Three
Scarlett.
mutas loses to 3 Marines.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
It's like, going to be little bit more careful about that, but a little drop coming down from KeeN. If he can actually force a cancel on the 4th base, that would be gigantic. Can't do it, though.
Grabs a medevac there, so a nice victory by Scarlett. Once again, keeping these drones safe. She's up to 75 workers and holding strong here on 4 bases.
Okay, so this is where the parade starts. Look at that mini-map. A lot of units rallying out, some mines being put down as well. Ooh, that's a nice target on the medevac. But KeeN has taken his 4th during all this, so Scarlett either has to crush this army or hold on against it with her 4th while harassing. She can't just hold on, because KeeN's economy is too big behind it.
Right, and with the Ravens still surviving and staying alive with scans like this, the creep spread is just not all that expansive. If, say, Scarlett had wrapped around that 4th base all the way with creep, then you can start coming in for flanks that allow you to crush that army. But really like this play by KeeN, not overextending, playing it safe and getting value off of things like those Widow Mines.
We'll clear the Widow Mines for the time being. Looks like some more harassment there. Getting 5 drones now with the Raven. Just one run go down. But Infestation Pit coming up as 2-2 is finishing. Scarlett
even
actually
more going down.
This push, though, by KeeN is very, very scary. And there's a second factory coming up. So definitely not done with the mines.
Yeah, and I don't think this is a full transition into like super mech because he does have a lot of bio there. This M&M and M&M push, really
4M.
common.
4M, Marine, Marauder, Mine, Medevac. And it's a good way to play against Ling Bane. Quick.
Wow. So many Terrans don't do that.
Yeah.
And with the planetary there at the 4th base, I mean, where's Sasha going to go?
Yeah, this is tough. The creep is spread a little bit in front of this hatchery, so she has some wiggle room. A flank of Lings comes up right now.
Nice surround there. No medevacs to pick them up. Big mine hit, though, but the Banelings will roll forward. Most, if not all of them, getting cleaned up, and there's not enough mutas for Scarlett to defend.
No, that might be the back-breaking blow by KeeN, continuing to stim and run forward. No Banelings left over. Very few mutas as well. This 4th base is under attack.
Oh, and these mutas very, very flimsy. No Lings coming in for the flank. In fact, it's more bio reinforcements. KeeN just smashing through this Zerg army.
Yeah, there's not a lot left. Some Banelings are being morphed, but Scarlett just cannot be losing this 4th base. She needs to keep it up if she's to have any chance at winning this game. But KeeN might be a bit too strong here. Banelings finally starting to roll in, but those Widow Mines are going to reset pretty soon.
They certainly are, and yeah, this is just too much of an entrenched position. GG! KeeN takes out Scarlett in game 1.
It was a well-played game by KeeN. Definitely Scarlett losing those early drones. How many drones did she lose? Those first 2 Hellions? It was like 7?
Yeah, it was 7 drones and then constant Raven harass the entire game. Was forced to cancel that base thanks to a Raven. KeeN just playing it super solid.
It was a bit tough too, right? Like she went into the mutas. There was a lot of harassment going on at that moment. Never really had a moment to split off Lings and Banes for harassment or send a big flock of mutas over for harassment like Biel does. Did try the one Ling run up, but KeeN, bam, closed those depots.
Right on top of it.
Yeah, planetary at the other direction she ran into. So no harassment was done, and KeeN just in complete control for literally every moment of that game.
Yeah, it just looked really solid. And for somebody that we might have underestimated a little bit, he took a game earlier in his first series, and now coming up against Scarlett, looking super solid. For Scarlett, you can see kind of looking off to the side, really needs to focus down and channel it, because this could be her last game of the GSL.
Yeah, you never know, man. Hopefully she'll get back in the future, but right now all she needs to worry about is winning on Newkirk Precinct.
He is
KeeN.
And he's spawning in the blue as a Terran player on the left-hand side. Newkirk Precinct, his opponent, down 1 game. The 4 in hope, one of them in the GSL. She is
Team Expert, Scarlett.
Would love to see her take on stats here once again. Definitely had a very good series against him, but
big hill to climb.
Yeah, Newkirk can be pretty tough too. Some of these Terrans are pretty dastardly on this map.
Now, thankfully, Terrans are not quite as annoying as Protoss are, with not allowing that 3rd base to be taken in the northern part of the map. Scarlett, more like, I'm going to murder all of you and win this tournament. I'm not very good at making nicknames. Go, Scarlett, go. I think that was no regrets.
That's a great
sign.
ID. That's a fantastic ID.
Got to find a game that
Too
you can
many
fit all of that
characters, though, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Actually, on the Korean server, you might be able to translate that all and fit it.
Have you ever seen people who try to make an ID, but like their ID is like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but you can only fit like 8 characters, so they just go supercalifrat, and you kind of know what they're going for, but there's just not enough characters.
I haven't really seen that too much,
Some
but I know
people
what
try
you
that,
mean.
man. Not a good strat. It's right up there with the XX underscore strats for new usernames. Did you ever have one of those usernames that just had a bunch of MLG 420 stuff in the middle?
No, definitely not.
I knew friends that thought that was so cool, man. Most of them played Halo.
Actually, I had a very hilarious ID with myself and a teammate. There was the old ladders in StarCraft 1 were funny because you'd have to go and type people's names in and stuff to report losses. So you'd have to. There was like a lot of honor back in the day because everyone, when you were good, everyone knew each other. So you just kind of. So, anyways, I made a 2 versus 2 team with my friend, and my name was half of the alphabet backwards, and his name was the other half backwards, and our team name was backwards alphabet team backwards. So whenever we won 2 versus 2s, they'd have to go type all of that in to report, or they would get in trouble. So it was, yeah.
Wasn't there also a tournament where, in order to prevent people from watching replay, or to prevent people from typing to each other. Oh, no, it's to prevent people from being able to mute you. You could name yourself like a random series of I's and L's, and they wouldn't be able to type /mute the player.
That was terrible.
Yeah, that was the super secret strat from back in the day.
Yes, I hated that. I would mute many a player. Start the game off GL, mute.
I think more people could learn from that example.
Yeah. So,
okay, all right.
This game. Let's take a look at it. It looks like it is going to be this build that you were talking about before, Rapid. You know, the double medevac stim timing. Of course, still a strong build. It's not used as ubiquitously as it was before. Yeah, I thought you'd like that.
That was my word of the week for a while there.
Yeah. But, okay, so Scarlett is actually going for this third base and the Rochorn right away. I would not be surprised if she wants to skip the Lingbane Muta style right now. She definitely has a large range and can use these other styles. And this, like, some players with this build as Terran do well against this. Like, you watch Bjorn when he plays against someone who makes a Rochorn. He's like, oh, you have Ravagers? Thank you. I'm so happy that you have Ravagers that I can kill.
Yeah, and he just splits and stims into them and kills every single one. Nice.
So that makes me worry a little bit, but, you know, it's not as fragile as having Zerglings against this.
Yeah, one thing that's also kind of flimsy about the Zerg, and I think I've heard Scarlett talk a lot about this, is how you get information about what's coming your way. Very difficult to get in there and scout, especially if you don't go for Overlord speed. And she's, as soon as she sees what's coming her way, she's going to get a little bit of deja vu, because this looks a lot like what Alive played against her the last time she was here in the GSL Codes. Double medevac stim marine timings. She hasn't been able to scout it out just yet.
And look at the direction he flew in. You might look at that and be like, well, that's kind of a longer route to get over near her, but he's actually flying on a route that shouldn't really have overlords, and it doesn't. She has not seen this yet. It looks like maybe that overlord saw enough that she has an idea of what the build is.
And they're finally a Zergling will scout it out.
Yeah, but already the rocks are down. That's actually going to surprise KeeN a little bit. He's like, oh, well, I guess I can't just run right up there.
Yeah, and there are roaches out ready. Queens there as well. Great defense here, Scarlett, on top of keeping that third base safe for now.
Another medevac going over right now. So this is one good thing that you can do against roaches is just have multiple medevacs out and not really worry about losing them. The Queen is the only anti-air, but this is a hell of a lot of Queens out for Scarlett right now.
Yeah, really kind of, I don't want to call it overproducing, but that's definitely more than you should expect to see. Investing them all in one area, so that might leave the main a little bit vulnerable, because here comes this drop right over a Spore Crawler.
Yeah, indeed, it does go right over that Spore Crawler, but runs past it now, dropping out these Marines. Not a lot of units here. Ooh, that Widowmine connection, pretty sick. Already 8 drones, 9 drones going down.
Oh, yeah, a lot of damage done even from just a simple drop here, and it's going to get pushed back, but, I mean, I think you got to call that value. And Scarlett pulling all of her army away from that third base now makes it vulnerable to this double drop.
Oh man, this is starting to really pile up right now as far as damage for KeeN. Finally, Scarlett picks off that medevac, but 16 drones already killed, and 2 of the 3 medevacs escape.
Wow, and yeah, those are going to live to fight another way, or another day.
Or both.
He who fights and runs away can run away another day.
The retreat is the greatest part of valor right there.
I think that's discretion, but retreating part of that, I guess.
Yes, the retreating part of discretion. That's it. Okay.
A famous man once didn't say that.
Yeah. Something almost vaguely like that was said before.
It's okay.
Infestation pit's coming on the way. So this is a good way to try to catch up in a situation where you lost 16 drones. This is like, for instance, Dark, if he ever gets behind, he's just like, okay, we're going to go Fungal Ravager, and we're going to work this back, okay? It takes a while,
infinite value.
Yeah.
You spend the energy, get the biles down, and all of a sudden, catch a couple of medevacs that are full, and that's going to get you right back into the game.
Totally, and that's really, I think, a great idea out of Scarlett. And in fact, when you go for like a Roach Ravager type anyways, you want to have some Infestors out and then eventually go into Ultras. So this overall is a very good style to play against KeeN. And so now KeeN has to decide, like, okay, is he going to just keep up with the bio? Is he going to switch into Siege tanks to try to take this out?
Right on top of pushing back these medevacs, but now that those rocks are going to get knocked down, Scarlett's going to have trouble defending her third, and this fourth might not even get up.
Could force a cancel right there, which would be a big deal right now. Oh, kills the Queen, which does open up another air path here for the medevac.
You can tell KeeN's just kind of playing with his food right now, moving over, pressuring a lot of different bases, a lot of different avenues, taking out those drones, and now really putting the pressure on this fourth base.
Oh, he's trying his best to just target it down. Does force the cancel, so that's actually a really strong move. It's definitely worth losing a few Marines to cancel an almost finished fourth. So now we're seeing them both sitting on 3 bases at the moment.
She still hasn't gotten that fourth base replaced. Her Roaches were in the way, and now finally, big delay.
Okay, some Infestors are coming out, but it is Siege Tank production right now for KeeN with a second factory on the way. So he's getting everything he really needs to fight against Scarlett. He's playing strategically a very strong game. Even his execution this game has been really strong. Like, we can't really fault him for very much. He's playing solid.
Yeah, a lot of times fans kind of have a disproportionate view of players based on how popular they are. So you get a foreigner like Scarlett, very popular, very accomplished. But then you have these guys like KeeN, and especially since he's not in SSL, he's not playing in a lot of other leagues right now. Unless you catch this guy in an online tournament, definitely not maybe as big a name as foreigners like Scarlett. So that can cause a lot of people to kind of underestimate him. And indeed, coming into this group, he was a little bit of an underdog.
And there's a lot of great Terrans in the Korean scene too, right? That's like where 99% of the great Terrans in the world are. And he's ranked lowly amongst them, but this is still fantastic play.
Yeah, and just look, more drones going down there. Even just not committing all of the Marines to that one location, saving some to go for another drop. This is more APM, more attention. Scarlett having to do all of this with no sounds, keep in mind. So there's a lot to keep track of.
Okay, so this is kind of cool. Fusion Core is on the way, and Liberators are being made. Now, the one thing that I was a little bit worried about for Scarlett as she was switching into this unit set is that if you do go straight into Ultras from here, a lot of times a Liberator timing into the main base with medevacs is quite strong because it's hard to get up that ramp. But she's actually got a Spire coming up as well, so that's going to help her out a lot against this.
And now this is that value. More and more drones getting taken out. It's just 3 Marines and a medevac. 8 more going down, lots of harassment, lots of value, but I mean the tech continues here.
Ooh. Greater Spire. I like it. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. A lot of times you see Ultras out of this. I'm sorry for interrupting you there. I was like, ooh.
No, I was just like, oh. I'm like, okay, what happened?
I like this though. Like, basically for Broodlords, you need a lot of stuff under it, and Roach Ravager Infestor is really great stuff to put under it because it takes so much damage to erase that you can't really get under them with Marines, and you don't really want to make Vikings against Zerg. So
sniping this 5th base won't be defended in time. Just great drop harass here, and not in time with the Fungals to catch those drops.
Still KeeN doing a good job cleaning things up on the map. He has that 4th command center up. It doesn't look like he has many SCVs over there right now, though.
Doing a good job cleaning that up. It's Mr. KeeN instead of Mr. Clean. I try to time those jokes for right when Artosis takes a drink of water,
Yeah.
but it was a little bit. It wasn't on par.
You nailed it.
Okay.
It's close enough.
All right, my timing was correct, but I didn't get enough damage
Your
done.
joke was a Baneling. It didn't have to be perfect to do damage.
You're trying to tell these Banelings that they're not perfect little snowflakes?
Oh, they're
I mean, they are all exactly the same.
Yeah, that's true. Right now there are Vikings being produced, a Ghost Academy on the way as well. So KeeN is actually ready and willing to go into the ultimate tech here.
A little bit of a miss there on those biles. And here come the first range upgraded Liberators.
That one's not going to work out.
Yeah, no, sorry. First time is not the charm there.
I feel like these queens have lived right there for the entire game. Every time we go over there, there's like 5 queens blocking drops.
They're just chilling. You ever have that problem where you just forget to hotkey one segment of your army?
Yes.
You just think that you're going to be moving those?
I could have sworn I had a prison.
Yeah, and then you look and there's these 4 immortals in the middle of the map. They're like, oh, where are those coming from?
Okay, Scarlett pushing forward right now onto this new base of KeeN. Gonna deny it for the time being. Ultralisk Cavern coming down. 3-3 is about to finish. There's a decent number of Broodlords here as well.
And Ultra's on the way there.
Both sides going to have kind of everything that they really want coming up here. We don't see Ghosts out yet for KeeN. He does have the Ghost Academy, and as you hit the Supreme late game against Zerg, Ghosts become maybe your most efficient thing that you can possibly use, but it slows the game way down. You have to play a very positional game and just kind of whittle down the Zerg over time.
I'm just telling you, man, those sounds, those Ghosts can be used to get those nukes off.
That is actually, you know what?
I live
That's
every
a good
game
point.
in hope of that.
Yeah, and for anyone who missed what we were talking about earlier, Scarlett is playing without sound tonight. She had a hard time hearing it last season in GSL because of the loud white noise. So she's actually just taking that out of the equation, practice without sound for this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to see it. It would be a little bit fun, but like you said, Ghosts do slow the game down. And I think for KeeN, that's just pretty much what he wants. I mean, he's going to have to figure out how to deal with these Broodlords, but aside from that, I mean, he's got a bunch of Vikings out and is really more than well prepared.
Yeah, he definitely has quite a defensive position right here. A few Ghosts did pop, so that's kind of nice. Scarlett has a huge chunk of the map, very good creep spread, a very good unit composition. But it's getting into that like really crazy late game area. Now, there is a newer style that Zergs have been using against Terrans a little bit, like mass Broodlords with Vipers, some Corruptors, Spores, lots of Spores, and I believe some Infestors that I've seen a few Zergs using that is kind of cool. Who did I see use that recently? I can't quite... God, there's too many StarCraft games.
Once this becomes an interactive stream, somebody tweets it at us so
yeah,
the greater world can know.
Who was going that style? Was it like Biol? Maybe? Or Dark? Anyways, whatever.
I mean, if there's a new style, chances are...
Scarlett knows about it.
Yeah, definitely. These are not great Liberator paths. I mean, that one will finally make it through a million Spore colonies, but even this one's going to move over there, and it'll get a few drones, but... will be dealt with relatively easily.
That's worth. I'll trade 2 drones for that. Vipers are coming out. More and more upgrades on both sides.
Here comes those Broodlords. Like Scarlett, last time she was in GSL playing against Alive, she did go Broodlords one game against him, but it was just not enough in time. But
that was almost so good.
Wow. Okay, so now KeeN pre-splitting his ghosts, making sure that not going to run into that danger zone again.
Yeah.
But wow, yeah, that was very close, Artosis.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing here out of Scarlett. Like, go in, get a shot off with these Broods. Look at that. Very nice. Back up before the Vikings can really get into position to do anything. Cool stuff.
Roach is over here. Planetary will push them back. And KeeN kind of crawling his way across the middle of this map. Great creep spread everywhere else, but he's pushing it back as he goes.
Yeah. And I like how he's playing this, the fact that he's slowed it down, because sometimes you think of him as an overly aggressive player for some of his early game plays. But
that's a nice pick off.
Yeah, really nice. But to slow it down and kind of go into this very turtley, cost-efficient style shows a big range in his play. Nukes on the way!
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Here we go. All right, you got to play to your opponent. Maybe that's the way. We're going to see attempts at Biles to catch off any units pushing forward. Man, KeeN just really slow and steady trying to win this race.
Okay. I'm really excited about the nukes.
I'm watching. Here we go.
Okay, is she going to be ready for this?
Nuclear missile dropping down.
Well, that nuke, what is that going to, is that a creep clearing nuke? They're going to kill that tumor? Let's see.
Yep.
Yeah, you got that tumor. All right. It's pretty sick.
It gets the...
Oh, sick EMPs!
Yep.
All over the infestors.
Indeed. So those are... Wow! We actually caught every single infestor there. Oh my god, Artosis, this is just getting more and more difficult to deal with. Some ghosts did get picked off, but it's going to be up to the value from these Broodlords. And okay, nice abduct there.
You're clapping. I don't know if people hear it. It's good though. Okay, so the Vikings are not really finding any way in. You got to be careful about them as well, of course. Can be picked off. Ooh, nice yoink right there.
Yeah, still a couple more missiles left.
Whoa. EMP, and it actually got abducted and still shot the EMP, I believe was what we just saw. So the Vipers now are going to have to eat an extractor or something.
Forcing them to really, that's autophagy, I believe, when you start eating yourself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what happens when cells try to, kill off infection. They start eating themselves, and sometimes they eat the right cells. Cells inside your body.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so nice attempt at a 6th base. That will get taken out. Still trying to watch out for these call downs. Roach is getting deep into KeeN's base, though. Will be annoying to clear out, but I think he has his sights set on higher ground, and that is, of course, pushing across.
It's a really good push. Like, to have this many ranged Liberators plus siege tanks really threatens anything that comes up. And, of course, with the Ghosts as well as Vikings, you can punish those Broodlords when they come up.
All right, nice job finding out these Ghosts, keeping an eye on them. Doing that all without sound, so no nukes really being valuable just yet.
Really great play here out of Scarlett. Is she going to be able to actually hold on, though? KeeN is just relentless with this push, but those Roaches are still over there doing something.
Yeah, lots of value from these Broodlords, though. I mean, they are doing a decent job. It's just so many Vikings. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Nice Vogel catching the majority of those Ghosts. They're all going to go down.
Oh, that was pretty sick. The Ghost count being really reduced. There are some Ultras on the way as well. Let's not forget that a huge amount of the supply that KeeN has are these very immobile flying units and a few siege tanks. So some Ultras and Lings and Roaches and stuff out on the map are a little bit difficult to deal with.
Yeah, here they come those Ultras finally popping out there. Some nice abducts there by those Vipers.
Yeah, I love this type of play out of Scarlett as well. Like, just using the Vipers over and over, picking things off, pulling things into spores. Really great play.
Slow and steady, it will be the way that this race is won, and it's really cool to see games not only just test how fast you are, how strategical you are, but also sometimes how patient you can be. And over the course of a long game, that definitely is what undoes many players. Just can't play the long game.
Yeah, the patience factor is a really big one at times, and they've both been very patient. Now, can Scarlett break through everything right here? Cleans up this push, but she's not really mining a lot. She's going to have to retake these bases.
Yeah, several bases picked off there earlier, even by just small Marauder task forces.
Now, KeeN, like, he doesn't have as much supply, but he is mining from more bases more regularly. The one thing that is, like, kind of funny to me is his Viking count. He has 17 Vikings. You don't generally think of Vikings as being a great unit against Zerg. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. Like, one fungal goes off on them, and they're all going to die.
Wow. If you do look at the supply, because he's Scarlett way up there right now, and KeeN definitely did lose a lot from having that push pushed back. Nice abduct.
Oh my God. The amount of abducted ghosts this game.
Never thought you'd say that sentence.
No, I certainly did not. It's like a milk carton, but there's nothing on the side because they're all pictures of ghosts.
Have you seen this ghost? Yeah. It's just like an empty box.
Yeah. That would very well describe Newkirk Precinct, Scarlett versus KeeN 2017. Look at this ghost. KeeN's trying to be such a sneaky snake with these ghosts.
What a guy. All right, well...
more Vikings on the way, by the way. This is like a record of Vikings.
Viking Liberator. I mean, lots of Corruptors, too. That speed buff actually really cool. But, man, that is 1 billion ghosts. I counted. Little tiny abducts. I mean, a little bit goes a long way there. That is just costing health and energy.
Yeah,
so
it's so good.
Here we go. There's that nuclear missile there. Nuclear missile dropping down.
Does she realize? Does she realize? Holy crap.
Oh, my
holy
God.
crap.
Here we go.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That was the greatest nuke that has ever landed.
I hope I did Moltrap proud with that one, man. What a nuke. It finally connects. KeeN.
I can't even believe that. That was every infestor, the Broodlords, the Vipers.
Oh,
that
my
was
God.
Perhaps Scarlett's chance at the next round.
Well, moving forward there, Scarlett's had enough. Even these Vipers just running all the way in there, but even those bombs are not going to clear out all of these Vikings. Lots of damage being done, but it's all on the ground. There's not enough in the air to push KeeN back.
She's still got a decent bank, a decent army here, but oh my God, the amount of units she just lost there. This is just too much madness.
Oh my God.
That has to be so tilting as well. Oh my.
Yeah, you cast hundreds of StarCraft games. You just know eventually you'll see, like, you know, the game that is, you know, a draw. Eventually you'll get these like way outlier games, but I mean that.
Or the ultimate nuke of all time.
Oh.
The most greatest nuke.
Mostest greaterest, man. That's what that was.
Most superbly
the incredibliest bestest, man.
Incredibliest.
sounds like
the incredibliest nuke I've ever seen. Oh, that's the perfect way to call it.
Sounds like an RA word.
Yes, it does.
Okay, well, here we go. You know, even though that nuke was good, Scarlett's still pushing back yet again. KeeN's forces moving forward, these Biles catching a few ghosts.
She's remade kind of the same army. Cost a lot of her bank, though, so that's not a good thing.
Yeah, no Widow Mines out here to stop big push forwards like this. And lots of Corruptors, too. This will deal decently, but, oh, man, lots of area of effect damage being done. The Biles coming down will hit several of those Liberators. The air army is going to get destroyed.
The Corruptors did very, very well right there. Weren't really fighting over any turrets, so that's quite nice. That's definitely a difference you'll see between KeeN and some other Terrans like TY and whatnot, but yeah, that was a pretty decent trade for Scarlett, at least. You see the factories over there. That's why we don't see any Widow Mines. Can't build them while they're flying. It seems like a bug.
Well, we do have bugs in this game, Artosis.
We certainly have a lot of them.
Side.
And it turns out they don't live through nukes.
No, in fact, they do not. No cockroaches here. Yeah.
That is an urban myth.
David Kim, please. Oh, man, nice. Vogel catches a bunch of ghosts there. Unfortunately, Ghost great against light units. We'll clean up most of those Zerglings. Baneling's still running forward. Hottest pickup of this game.
That pickup was lit. Bam.
The most incredibliest pickup. What a word.
The most incredibliest. Oh, man.
That's the true joys of our job, Artosis. Okay.
A Cyclone's being made. Was not expecting that unit of all units.
No, truly that is the surprise of this game.
The 25-minute Cyclone to add in.
That's the builder I like to go, Artosis.
That must be for taking down some buildings or something, I guess, right?
Or anti... That's your roach counter right there, Artosis.
I don't think it's for the Ultras.
Let's get the bonus damage versus armor. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's why he built so many Vikings. He's going to land them to kill Ultras, man.
Well, you know, at this point, might need to. Okay, so the game has slowed down a little bit. They both have every base on their side of the map. I'd love to see mineral counts of exactly what's left. Look at the worker count, though. 37 drones against 33 SCVs. Of course, you have mules in there, too. So KeeN's economy is actually significantly better right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just kind of mesmerized. I'm watching things move around the map. I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of cool. Stuff's doing things. Oh, my God.
No one can really do, like, too much right now. If anyone loses their army, they're not really mining quickly enough to remake. and they have like kind of similar sizes.
Here comes the little cyclone that could.
Yeah.
Drop coming in here. Wow, unburrow. Bad timing there on that Spore Crawler. Now, Ling's in position to defend this, so I guess not a lot of damage to be done. But, I mean, those are 3-3 Marines between mineral lines. It's going to be annoying to deal with.
Yeah, they're going to lose the medevacs, though, so definitely something going on. He kills a few more drones.
I mean, killing 4 drones when there's only 30, that's actually a pretty sizable percentage.
It's like over 10%.
Did you think that up yourself, Artosis? You're so smart, man.
I did math. It's no problem.
On air.
I truly understand this game. That was the proof right there. Okay, a good amount of infestors. We've seen them EMP'd so many times so far this game, so definitely something that Scarlett needs to be watching out for. Those clutch EMPs. Some mines are being added in, which she actually hasn't been playing against this game, really. So that is actually something that could throw her off, right? Like, at this point, you have kind of adapted a lot to the way that your opponent is playing the game and the feel of it, and the feel of it has been no Widow Mines for a very long time.
Right, so finally starting to add those in. I really feel like adding in that one Cyclone. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. But here we go, a very strong, difficult to deal with kind of push. I mean, you see Scarlett up 20 supply, but that's just completely meaningless into a bunch of Ghosts, Liberators, Widow Mines.
Well, she's got a lot of spellcasters, too. And, like, all these kind of high-tech units and spellcasters do mess up the math of the supply. Okay, that is a lot of Cloak Ghosts coming in right now. Oh, a sick Fungal comes in. Does reset a lot of the snipes.
That flanking infestor from behind, or Ravager, not going to get things done. The Ghosts survive. Liberators, though, are getting picked off little bit by little. Air Army survives here, and KeeN will still be pressing forward.
Uh-oh, this is looking pretty bad for Scarlett right now, losing almost all of the high-tech units. A lot of Ghosts left over. GG is called, and KeeN wins 2-0 over one of the greatest foreigners in the world, Scarlett.
But a very hard-fought game, very mentally taxing, really.
That was a tough one. That nuke, that was a game ender, man. It was so strong. It got so much stuff that, like, she really didn't deserve to lose that stuff. Like, the nuke hit. So, like, yeah, I mean, good on KeeN. You got to do every little thing you possibly can to win. But Scarlett here having a hard time identifying that there was a nuke in that location, possibly because she was playing without sound today on purpose. But yeah, that's really rough to lose that chunk, that very expensive chunk of army like that.
Well, it also like takes a mental, like psychological toll on you. I mean, there are a lot of ways that you can win, but that is certainly one of the rarer ones. Well, that's going to do it for our elimination match there. Our final match of the night's coming up. It's KeeN versus Stats. Don't go anywhere.